Let me introduce you to Lana Brysys. Lana is a 25-year-old Triton. She's 5 foot, with blue skin, green hair, and green eyes. She's a level 4 Circle of Spores Druid. She has a neutral good alignment, and she is a far traveller. And she is the character that I play in Dungeons & Dragons. Lana was abandoned at birth by her bio parents and left on the doorstep of the quaint Crow's Inn, the only tavern in Squall's End. It's run by Prim and Glory, a gnome and halfling couple, and they raised Lana as their own. It was a simple but happy childhood, with much of it spent with the other village children, especially the dwarf Nev. Nev was called to serve Malura, the nature goddess, and Lana's natural inclination towards animals led her down the same path. Together with Zentha, an elven paladin, they travelled the lands, ensuring nature and civilization remained in harmony. While exploring an old ruin, Zentha disturbed a mirror and was pulled into a horrifying barren wasteland marked by black towers and towering demonic creatures. The mirror then cracked, and the two of them were lost to Lana and Nev. I think as we move further through this campaign, I might end up deciding to make Zentha a character that I fall in love with. I think that would be an interesting character arc for Lana. After gathering their senses, Lana and Nev set off towards Waterdeep in search of someone who could help them save their friend. In Waterdeep, we befriended a giant lizard folk, Jhaan, and the dwarfen ranger Rowan Ironbraids. Together, we travel as the Trollflayers. I mean, we only actually flayed a troll one time, and mostly because Jhaan wanted to eat it, but the name kind of stuck. I play with my partner Stuart, my wonderful coin-operated press partner Katie, and her girlfriend Aeryn. Aeryn's an experienced Dungeons & Dragons player, and she was wonderful enough to offer to DM for us on our very first adventure together into this fantastic game, and for me, my first ever time playing D&D. If you've not already noticed, I'm a bit of an anxious soul, and Dungeons & Dragons seemed a little bit out of my reach in the past. A lack of social skills and nervousness when talking to people does not seem like a good mix for an in-person role-playing game, and yet here I am. I have completely fallen in love with this game, and I am obsessed within only a few sessions. I'm really grateful to Aeryn for putting together that first game for us, and so far that's been our only in real life game, as I was totally hooked from those initial few hours, and I'm grateful to Katie for pushing me to work through my fear of the dreaded Skype to make our little fantasy adventures a weekly occurrence. In-game, I sometimes struggle to make decisions, or panic a little when I'm thrown into the spotlight, but I actually think this game is a great thing for my anxiety. I'm really enjoying the storytelling components, and as a fairy tale lover I'm so enthralled by the lore and mythological creatures. Using these aspects that I love and throwing myself into the game headfirst is a perfect way for me to drive myself past the anxious voices in my head. I think it's working. It helps that my partner Stuart, aka Jhaan, is really into it as well. He watches loads of YouTube videos and is constantly researching and telling me all about new strategies and fantastical new creatures he has discovered. His passion and enthusiasm is helping me to get more into it, and I'm so glad we're getting to spend this time together working on a shared interest. I think Aeryn completely nailed everything I was going to enjoy in this game with this character creation. Lana is a badass Triton Druid, practicing within the Circle of Spores. I get to play with dead things, mushrooms, and animals. I can breathe underwater, talk to water creatures, and I'm blue. What more could I want? Do hit me up in the comments below if you want to talk more Dungeons & Dragons with me. I'm always looking for nerdy pals, so please follow me on my socials and send me messages all about your Dungeons & Dragons fun. I've really enjoyed doing this drawing of Lana, and I want to illustrate more of our characters and more of the characters that come up in our campaign in the future, as well as hopefully planning my own campaign. Maybe not being the DM, but at least being the storytelling writer to Stuart's DMing. And I'm sure from there there'll be a lot more character creation on my side and a lot more drawings of my characters as well. So do hit that subscribe button if you want to see more from me in the D&D realm. Happy playing, and may the dice be ever in your favour.